So, eigentlich hätten wir jetzt den Wolfgang Eberhardt erwartet. Das ist der Leiter der Unternehmenskommunikation von Klaas. Den hatten wir im letzten Jahr hier gehabt. Das war super spannend gewesen. Wir haben da über Landwirtschaft 2.0, 3, 4.0, wie auch immer gesprochen. Und da dachte ich erst, oh meine Güte, das ist so ein CS-Thema und so weiter. Aber dann war das eine großartige Stunde und der ist nicht da. Ich weiß nicht warum. Aber wir haben ja als Aushilfespielerin sozusagen die Nicole. And now we're going to switch over to English again.
Yay!
You just got to the edge of your German vocabulary.
That was right at the very edge, yeah. It was Danke. Danke for having me on.
You know what? Let's just talk about the device you were just showing. That was the new Toshiba Mini.
The Toshiba Click Mini,
it's like
yeah.
like a netbook, right?
Yeah, it's absolutely like a netbook, but it's almost like a budget netbook. It's 9 inches, thick bezel. It's got a really crappy keyboard. But I think it's more for media consumption than it is for anything else. Running Windows 8.1, Atom processor. I mean, it's very much in the netbook look and feel.
It's a 10.1 inch, right?
9 inch.
9 inch?
9 inch, yeah. The only 9 inch device that I've seen for a long time that looks like a netbook.
Yeah, the last one was those 8.9 inch ones.
Exactly.
Yeah. EPC 900.
Yeah, like the original netbook, exactly.
Yeah. So interesting. Besides that, what have you seen?
Well, so I've been walking around the show floor. It's still quite busy. Like the show floor is really packed. The Chancellor of Germany was just at the Samsung booth. Mm-hmm. So we were over there looking at the Chancellor walking around for a little bit.
That was the Vice Chancellor.
Oh, the Vice Chancellor. Sorry, I'm not up with my German politicians. Yeah, but I mean the Samsung booth, which is the footage we're going to be showing in the afternoon of Rob walking around, and he did a little bit of a booth tour looking at some of the B2B solutions that Samsung's offering, and then we also went to check out the BlackBerry Secure tab.
Okay.
Right, which is possibly one of the biggest ripoffs we've ever seen in our lives.
Well, isn't it basically a Galaxy Tab S?
It's exactly a Galaxy Tab S. Exactly.
So
they're charging an extra and they're charging an extra 1,700 euros for software.
So what kind of software is it supposed to be?
It's secure software. So I mean, it's basically like Samsung's Knox, right? Where you have the ability to have secure sign-in and secure email and secure interactions and parsing the system into different areas. It's that kind of thing. But I mean, I don't understand the pricing of it because it's so expensive for. So I don't know how much Samsung charges for Knox, but I'm sure. Well, maybe it is that much. I'm not sure, but it's a very expensive system for exactly Samsung Galaxy S or Tab S hardware.
Well, interesting. I need to see this.
Yeah.
So we have the video.
We have the video. It's going to be coming onto the stream after lunch, so you'll be able to check that out in between Sascha's amazing German sessions.
So, new BlackBerry tablet hands-on will be live, maybe even after this session.
Well,
no?
it's already live on Mobilegeeks' YouTube channel, but we'll have it in the stream after lunch.
Okay, very cool.
Yeah.
So you were a little bit underwhelmed.
From the BlackBerry yeah, of course. I mean, I would be shocked if I was overwhelmed by BlackBerry.
That would be kind of nice.
I think that it's impossible for them at this point. I mean, what could they do to change our minds?
So this is, of course, they're selling into channels where it's all about confidential data and specific standards and certifications that you need to get to run a device in an environment like, working for a security service or working for, high-end R&D labs or whatever.
I mean, that's true, but at the same time, I can't help but wonder why you wouldn't maybe just go with Samsung's Knox, right? Like Samsung's doing a much better job at promoting and pushing their platform forward, whereas nobody's thinking BlackBerry, ooh, super sexy. We really want to partner up with BlackBerry. I don't know. Maybe it's just like a public image type idea that I have of them, but I can't really see many Fortune 500 companies thinking that they're going to sell their board of directors on BlackBerry when Samsung just seems to have a more complete B2B selection or offering right now.
It's going to be a tough market for them.
It is. But hardware-wise, actually, the other thing that I wanted to bring up that I saw this show that first time I had hands-on with was the Toshiba Z20T. Right, so this is a 2-in-1, right? That it's got all of the connectors, right? All of them. It's got a full-size VGA, it's got a full-size HDMI, mini HDMI, and it comes in 1.5 kilos, right? So like for the business user, this is actually like full port connectivity in 1.5 kilos, which we're not seeing these days, and it has a matte display, 13.3 inches, touchscreen. The entire thing. That was the other thing. That was the tablet that I saw this show that actually impressed me.
Oh,
BlackBerry Secure Tab, not so much. Toshiba knocking it out of the park with a really great business solution. Are they here on the booth? I didn't see the Toshiba here at the Intel booth. I saw that one at the Microsoft booth.
Interesting. The Microsoft booth in general, just showcasing a lot of different devices.
Oh, the Microsoft booth was a real pleasure to go and see because they had the UX305, which I've just been really, really wanting to spend a lot more time with. I mean, like ever since
that's the Asus ZenBook.
The Asus ZenBook, exactly. So this is basically the competitor for the MacBook, right? But Asus has a 3200 by 1800 display in there, and they have a bunch of ports, whereas the MacBook just has one Type-C connector.
And it's as thin as the MacBook, or
as
even
thin. It's a little bit heavier, but the MacBook has a 39 watt-hour battery, and the UX 305 has a 42 watt-hour battery.
Interesting.
So it's 1.2 kilos. So actually, per wattage of battery, you're gaining the exact same thing in weight. So that to me is okay.
And it's also based on the 5th generation of the Core
No, it's based on Core M also.
Oh, that's a Core M.
Right, so it's also
it's
Core
fanless?
M. Also fanless, also Core M. And it's the same Core M that's in the MacBook. It's the highest end, the one that can go up to 2.6. So I mean, like, this to me is really interesting because Asus has basically offered something with a higher resolution display, the same high-end Core M processor, and they're doing it for, we've seen it online already, for $699, right? Whereas what's the MacBook, the bottom, that's $1,299 or $1,200. I think it's $1,200 for the base MacBook. So it's almost half the price, like, which is absolutely crazy. So you're not getting Type-C, but I'm not sure that I want a device with just one port anyways.
I'm not getting USB Type-C.
Well, I am, but I'm not sure that, even as a technology journalist, I'm not sure if I want to be the one living at the bleeding edge of this with that on my main device, right?
Well, especially when the accessories are
so
just not there
and so expensive.
Exactly.
$79 so you can plug a USB in?
That's ridiculous. But also, when it comes to USB sticks, I think it's only SanDisk having a USB Type-C right now.
Yes.
I'm not sure about the pricing situation for it, but in general, I mean, come on, if you have a proper USB 3.0, if you have some fast flash memory on it, it is just fast.
Absolutely, and I get it that it's not that we're going to be moving into Type-C connectors. I mean, the fact that you're never going to be confused about which side you're plugging in. That's going to be great, right? I do look forward to the day of living in the USB Type-C, but I'm not looking forward to the 3 or 4 years it's going to take for the entire industry to transition forward. I mean, Intel's constantly talking about how 50% of the people who have laptops are rocking one that's 3 years old.
Right.
Right? Like, the average consumer is still using a device that isn't very modern. So the average consumer to move on to Type-C is going to take a very long time. And during this kind of like growth period, it's going to be painful for my parents and just anybody on the market I can see. Yeah.
So you're a little bit underwhelmed by the new MacBook.
I am. Yeah. Well, no.
I love the look. The keyboard looks absolutely stunning. But I would kind of expect it to have a 12.5-inch device or display, an 11.6 form factor, with this kind of keyboard, and then going for Core M, and instead of trying to make the thinnest laptop out there, just do one like with a 40 watt, 8 watt-hour battery, and just try to create a 12, 14, 15 hours battery life scenario.
No, I agree with you, but I do believe that the MacBook is kind of a showcase device almost, right? It's about what the future of computing is going to look like and not necessarily what people are going to be buying now. Because if you're buying a productivity device and it's your only one, you're going to go for the MacBook Air. Yeah. Right, it's more affordable. You get way more performance, and like you get all the connectors, and it's for about productivity today, right? Like the new MacBook, it's more of a show off, right?
It is a show off.
Like it's like you have a Mac, like an Apple desktop, right? And then this is your on the road device,
right?
Something like this, and it's also a bit like the Apple Watch. Look how much money I have. Right? It's just about,
no, that's a really good
that
point,
you have a lot of money to spend on stuff.
There's so many tasks. A fifth generation Core I, or even a fourth generation Core I, could handle so much faster than the Core M. And then, just to get the excuse about, I'm just writing on it. Well, then got them $200 ebook, right? And you will also get 10 hours of battery life. It's also less than a kilogram.
And the truth is if you're invested into the Apple ecosystem, you already have an iPad, right? So just get a good keyboard for it, right? So I mean, like the new MacBook very much is just a show off of a forward thinking, kind of like look what I can do kind of device. And there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah. But it's not going to be me,
No, I agree. I agree. I kind of hope that it would look a little bit different. I also kind of hope that Core M, in terms of the design wins they got with Core M and the way that the OEMs were embracing it, would kind of lead to the 15 to 20 hours laptop in the future. Because this would be possible if you're going for a 56 watt-hour battery. I think you're getting very, very close to 20 hours of battery life.
No, you're totally right, and. About the design and form factor, you're completely right on the money with talking about how Core M is pushing things forward. I mean, if you look at the Yoga 3 Pro, right, that hinge, it's unbelievable. And the only reason they can do that is because they're able to have such a thin form factor, right? Otherwise, if they had the traditional, like, thicker, heavier battery, I think the hinge mechanism would need to be a lot more robust, whereas they can get away with this beautiful, like, rotating chainmail kind of hinge on there.
Just one of our viewers in the chat, Philip, made a pretty good point. Apple is transforming to a company that sells luxury goods and no longer future technology.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, that's a good point, Philip.
I mean, is the Apple Watch very edgy in terms of technology? I don't think so.
Not at all. No.
Is the new MacBook kind of forward-thinking device? I don't think so. It was just basically how thin can it get, which in my opinion, seriously, is just also bullshit.
Well, and as well, the other thing
it's
about
about compromise that I have to make.
It is 100% about compromise, and if you're going to play that thinness game, they didn't win. Like, all the other companies are talking about how, my device is still thinner than the MacBook, like, in which a lot of them are. Like, they didn't even win this game, but at the same time, like, how thin is thin enough, right? There comes a point where I'll take durability and longevity of my devices over how thin they are. Like, I want to use my devices for a couple of years, and I don't want to have it break on me or bend on me. And like your Yoga, the 11-inch, you used that for nearly 2 years, right? Yeah, and it kind of bent a little bit, but the robust materials definitely allowed you to keep it for so long. And if it was that thin, it may not have lasted, right?
Yeah. No, I agree. Plus, I'm not sure. I mean, we've already made so many compromises when it came to the form factor of a notebook right now. So we all have the sealed batteries. I mean, you just got a 17-inch from HP.
I did.
That actually has an exchangeable battery. And we're not used to it anymore.
Yeah, but also this 17-inch computer with the exchangeable battery, at 100%, when I'm rendering a video, I have 51 minutes of battery life.
Yeah.
And I think that's why it has an exchangeable battery. I mean, and this is also why we're not reviewing 17-inch devices, because fundamentally they're not mobile, right?
We're going to have a little break right now for about 40 minutes. I have to head over to Hall 4 to be on a panel. And then we're going to be back at 1:30. Und zwar haben wir dann um 1:30 Uhr den Dieter Hoffend, Leiter Großkunden und neue Geschäftsfelder bei Intel. Der wird dann abgelöst von der Jutta Jacobi von der Deutschen Messe AG. Und mit ihr reden wir dann vor allen Dingen über die Startups auf der CeBIT. Ich freue mich ganz besonders drauf. Ansonsten seht ihr gerade noch die neuen Hands-on von der Nicole. Ich wünsche euch erstmal Mahlzeit und sage dann bis gleich. Wir schauen uns jetzt mal ein bisschen was an und wir füllen dann entsprechend die Pause für die nächsten 40 Minuten mit aktuellen Clips. Bis gleich.